You keep spinning your wheels because you don't want to do the buyer consultation. I've seen it hundreds of times, and I continue to try to educate that the buyer consultation is essential. When I ask new agents all the time, forget new agents actually, even seasoned agents and new agents, when I ask them, after they tell me stories about a buyer who had them running around showing houses, giving them a call late in the evening just to show a house, I've heard it over and over again, and I asked them, did you ever at any point ask the buyer to sit down with you so that you can learn a little bit more about them? And it's not a surprise to me that if the answer is always no, because typically when I ask an agent, why didn't you do it? Did you do it? Did you do the buyer consultation? Most of the time they're like, no, Jose, I don't want to. I'm scared. I don't want to lose the buyer. I don't want to turn them off by asking them to sit down with me so I can learn more about them. It doesn't make sense. Listen, guys, I'm Jose Mejia. I'm going to explain to you, by the end of this video, I want you to get the value of understanding the concept of doing a buyer consultation. I get it. I've been in your shoes. I don't want to lose clients either. But ultimately, it's your process that they're buying into. It's your process that gives them the experience of being able to showcase your value to them so that they can refer you to other people because they had a great experience with your process. Okay? So if you're going to guide somebody correctly, you want to lead them through the process. If you don't want to waste time showing 100 houses, or if you don't want to pick up the phone and show a house at 9:30 in the evening to a random buyer that just called you on a property, if you don't want to waste the time to do that, you want to sit down with them for at least 45 minutes to an hour and have a thorough understanding of what it is they're looking for, who's a decision maker, how often they'd like to be communicated with, what kind of method they want to be communicated with. You might even be able to extract what type of concerns and problems would keep them from buying a house. I bet you heard that one before, right? They pull the plug, they want to move forward after you've shown 20 houses. They pull the credit report, and something's wrong with the credit. And that easily could have been diagnosed in the beginning. But no, you decide to want to get in the car, spend a couple of tanks of gas, your time that you could be spending prospecting or even with your family. You decide not to do the buyer consultation because you're scared. Or maybe you decide not to do the buyer consultation is because you don't have a consultation to provide or to present. You don't have a process. You guys, I've seen it time and time again. The buyer consultation is essential for you to interview the buyer and the buyer to interview you. You have to be very thorough so that you can have an understanding of every single detail that involves what drives the buyer, what are their personalities like, what are they looking for specifically, what's their timeline, are they the type of buyer who's gonna make a decision based on their circumstance, are you setting the expectations of communication, of what your experience is going to be like, of what their experience is going to be like? Do they have an understanding about who you are and how available you are to them? And if you work with a team, do they have an understanding about the value of what every single member of your team does for their experience? You guys should be covering this stuff to be thorough up front. You want to spend an hour asking 50 questions and only showing the 10 right houses, as opposed to the other way around where you show 50 houses because you only asked 10 questions. Does that make sense? All right. Get a buyer presentation involved. It shouldn't be more than an hour long. If it goes more than an hour, that's okay. Keep practicing it until you're shoring up that time frame. You want to get an application. You can Google it, real estate buyer presentation. And I'm not talking about, hey, let's talk about your company, who you work for, how long they've been in the business. No one cares. They want to know if you're ready to listen to them. It's about them. Have an understanding who is going to be looking at the houses, who is the person that you have to communicate with, what's their method of communication, what are they looking for specifically, a townhome, a single family home, is a fence important, why is it important, do they have dogs, do they smoke, do they not smoke, do they need a pool, why not, okay, are they ready to make an offer on a house even if it's over the asking price, how motivated are they, what's their timeline, how often do they want to receive properties on a weekly basis, what days are they wanting to go look at houses, and does that fit your schedule? Do the homework up front, guys. Trust me, you're going to be thankful of it. Don't be scared to lose the business. You've gained a relationship and you've done what most real estate agents don't do, which is the buyer consultation. And a lot of these buyers appreciate getting to know you in advance and making sure that you're the person that's there to guide them, because you're thoroughly asking questions and you are using authenticity to listen to what their needs are. Guys, I hope you guys took some value in this. The buyer consultation is essential to your appointments so that you don't waste time and you're very efficient and you're setting expectations and showing your value of what it's going to be like to work with you. See you guys.